All right, welcome back to the Coach Mack Show, the playoff edition. We're from the field house again, Coach. Big win Friday night.
It was a big win. It was great to get off to this kind of start. Last 2 years we've fallen short in the first round, got beat in the first round on the road. I think it was the year before that we managed to win a game in Hawkinsville, and then but since then we've been not very good first round games. It was we really pushed hard to get this win in everything, and really that's part of what we're having to do now is get our kids refocused. But again, it was a great way to start the playoffs. A lot of great plays on both sides of the football, and on the road about as far as you can be on the road. 6 hours plus 6 hours really by the time you stop and so forth. So it was a good trip up, and it was a great game.
Oh, no doubt about it. Before we dive into the game totally, Coach, I wanted to bring up Jamez Davis.
Jamez Davis. Right now on newsstands, there's In the Game magazine around this area. In the Game magazine has a big feature on Jamez Davis. He's a perfect. He's our center, by the way, senior center. Jamez, number 53. Jamez is one of my favorite subjects to talk about right now. He's a perfect 4.0 student, and he may have had one of the best games I've seen a center have in a long, long time. He really just. I can't tell you enough of the things he did during the game. He was really assigned to the second level inside linebacker, number 46. The kid is a 3-time state championship wrestler and 2-time high school national championship wrestler. And Jamez had a great game against the guy. He was out second level getting the job done, and really was a big reason why we were able to get off such long runs all the time. He just basically eliminated the inside linebacker. Yeah. Jamez is, I know, wanting to go to medical school, and he's already spent some time, I think, at Emory during a summer program up there for kids who want to go into medical school, and I know that was did a great job for him. Oliver and Jacqueline Davis, I tell you what, they're some great parents right there. I always tell Jamez, I said, quit being so proud of yourself, because if it wasn't for your parents, you wouldn't be like you are. I'm partly I'm not joking. He's got some fantastic parents. Great family, and that's where it really starts with. And unfortunately, the downside a little bit of this is you see kids who struggle, and so often it's because they have some struggles at home and really struggles with people, leadership in the house and so forth with them. Jamez is not that case. Jamez has had a great home life. He started off on the right foot, and he's just a special young man. And I tell you, I'd love to have an entire team of Jamez Davises, and I know we'd like to have an entire school full of them. But a great student, does a great job in the weight room, great job on the football field, just a great community kid, great community guy. And if he tells me he wants to be a doctor, he'll be a doctor someday. I really believe that, and he's going to make a difference. And his goals in becoming a doctor, if you read the article, isn't to make money and so forth, the things that comes along with it, something like that. His goal is to make a difference, and that's he wants to help people, and that's what's so incredible about him. He's one of my favorite guys. He's one of my all-time favorite guys. So Jamez Davis has had a great game, great young man. Great article in the Game magazine. It's out throughout this area. It's out, I think, most Flash Foods and places like that. If you have a chance, get it. It's a great magazine, first of all. It's got a lot of great area high school sports information, not just football, but all the sports, wherever sports are in season. So if you get a chance, go out and get it. And like I said, it's got a great article on Jamez.
All right. And that's no small feat by Jamez, a 4.0. I mean, that's...
4.0, great student.
Perfect.
Yeah, perfect. I guess he's beaten all the teachers so far. I guess they haven't tricked him yet. So yeah, he's
and to be doing that and playing sports.
And playing sports. He also wrestles. He also runs track. So he's a 3-sport athlete, a 4.0. And just an all-around incredible young man. And again, his parents just are fantastic people, and
I'm sure there's a lot of schools foaming at the mouth to get a student like that.
I tell you, they are. He's we all are blessed to have the children that we have, but I tell you what, if I sit there and had to draw up a son, I said that's probably what it'd be, Jamez Davis. I tell you, he's a great kid.
Good deal. All right, Coach, let's jump into the game this past Friday night with the offense. From our vantage point up there, the press box is probably a little bit different than what y'all end up on film, but I thought obviously an impact player was Drew Lee.
Yeah, Andrew, had 28 carries for 332 yards and 3 touchdowns. I always tell our offensive linemen, I tell our running backs that all running backs look alike with no blocking. So obviously he had some blocking to do the job he did, but also Andrew, he got a chance to get to the edge. He took it the distance several times. I know the key play was right before halftime.
Yeah.
We were trying to throw the ball a little bit. It wasn't working. So I said one of two things. We're not going to throw an interception. They're drop back in pass coverage. Just go ahead and just give the ball to Andrew and see what happens. So we just had a little off tackle play, gave it to him, and he took it the entire distance for the touchdown.
Broke the back.
Yeah, that was huge going in halftime with that. But he had a great job there. Our offensive line really had a good job. Our offensive line was really challenged this week because we knew what kind of offensive line Commerce had. A great offensive line. And I told our guys, I said, you ought to be getting tired of hearing how good Commerce's offensive line is. Yeah. Why don't you do something on your own, make us talk about you? So I think they did. They came out, and our offensive line did a great job. And of course, Andrew Lee carried the ball and did a nice job. We have to work on a little bit of ball security. But overall, I thought he did a great job. 332 yards rushing is a great night. Exactly. And Trey Harrington, he's getting healthier every week. He's just about right where he needs to be. Adding Andrew Lee to the mix gives us the ability to not only run the ball, but to throw the football. We only threw the ball 15 times, and the reason for that was probably the weather turned bad right at halftime. It was a great first half. You couldn't ask for better North Georgia late November weather than we had up there. It was perfect. I mean, it was in the high 50s, I believe. You couldn't ask for anything better. And then all of a sudden the bottom fell out. Now we're getting a chilly rain out there, and that kind of. We had plans to come out and really work the passing game a little bit also. But it didn't. That
rain, it's hard.
It didn't really happen. But in the first half, he threw the ball and he completed 6 of 15 for 137 yards, which we had a couple of long passes. I believe we had 2 touchdowns. Davron Reed led us in receiving with 4 catches and 124 yards, and one of those was a long touchdown. And Curtis Nixon had 1 catch, but the catch, I believe my stats say 1, but I think I remember 2. But one of those was for a touchdown also on a crossing route. So offensively, we had a lot of guys do a great job. It starts up front. I thought Tevis Dasher, who's playing tight end now, did a great job blocking. He didn't get a chance to get a ball thrown to him, but he did a great job on the edge, and I think that's also our blocking schemes have changed up front, doing some different things with the tight end now in there. On the offensive line, like I said, we talked about what a great job Jamez has done, but also Andrew Chesser. Andrew Chesser is a sophomore, and Andrew has won a starting spot here in the last couple of weeks, and he had a great game up there. I think that's where his grandparents are from. Is from Commerce, so
family up there.
So he had some motivation to play well, and he played very well. I thought Andrew Chesser did at offensive tackle, number 60, and then also our other offensive tackle. I thought. Did a great job, Levi Cribb, who Levi's been invited to play in the Junior Elite All-Star game on the 28th of December up in Atlanta, where they've scouted throughout the state, and they're trying to find the top juniors in the state, and he was recognized as one of them, so he's going to be playing in that game. So we're excited for him as far as that goes. Again, it's just offensively. We just looked at film in here today, and if you watched film with us, you'd thought we lost by 35 points. We made a lot of mistakes, really did. At this time of the year, we're always trying to work on just being perfect and really eliminating mistakes. So this week we've got a lot of mistakes to work on, a lot of things to get better at, and of course we've got a great opponent this week to get ready for.
All right, Coach, let's move on to defense if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I thought watching the game, from our vantage point, that their offense really played into the strength of our defense.
They really did. They were a fullback-oriented team. They wanted to run the veer into you, and of course up front we got some nice-sized players, some big kids, and linebacker. course, Lance Thompson, number 54, senior linebacker, is having a great year. I believe Lance at this point, and we just don't give away tackles now. You got to truly earn a tackle for us to give you credit for it. But he's got 81 tackles. Julian Roberts is the next guy with 57 and a half. But Lance had another game where he led the team in tackles with 10 and a half. His responsibility was to basically attack the fullback on every play and did a great job at that. We struggled a little bit on the edge, and we were misaligned. We didn't adjust like we should to overload or unbalanced fronts, and hopefully we get that taken care of and we do a better job on the perimeter. But defensively, Lance did a great job, and then of course our defensive guys inside, Will Gowan, Tion Burrows, and Michael Dasher. Those guys inside had a really good game, and then also I mentioned Tevis Dasher had a really good game. Also inside, we moved him a little bit further inside because of their scheme, and Tevis did a good job with seven tackles. We had 2 interceptions. They didn't throw the ball much. They had a little success throwing the ball at one time, and we were just awful in pass coverage. But Kurt Nixon and Tevis Dasher had an interception also. So really good job with them. We gave up 10 first downs, which for that offense isn't too bad. 10 first downs. But again, we only had 67 yards in penalties, which isn't bad. So we've got, again, on defense, we had some breakdowns, made some mistakes and different things in alignment. But again, we're going to be, as coaches, we're going to be real critical. I mean, you walk off that field, and I walked off that field with a big smile on my face, thinking, hey, we just did some great things, and we did some good things. Yeah. But you come back, you look at the film, and you realize that, man, we need to do a better job.
There's a few mistakes out there that you guys
quite
catch.
A few mistakes that we need to do a better
the
job.
Average fan, we're celebrating, and you're stressing.
Yeah, well, when I got back, I was stressing after looking at the film.
All right, hey, one thing when we talk about Lance Thompson, toward the end of the game there, I believe it was number 8, was trying to run us outside, get outside.
Sweep, yep.
It had to have been one of the I'm deaf. And it had to have been one of the loudest hits I've heard Lance or anybody on the Indians put on a kid. That hit right there toward the end of the game.
Well, let me tell you about Lance and even a lot of these other guys. When they show up as freshmen, Lance was not particularly tall, wasn't kind of a pudgy kid, had no kind of athleticism or anything. But Lance understood at an early age the benefits of the weight room.
Right.
And, of course, then you start getting into some maturity, some puberty going on, and you start getting the height and so forth. But again, him and a lot of these guys were made in the weight room. If don't sound human, but I mean, kind of made in the weight room.
Right.
They show up as just average kids out of the 8th grade, and then we get them in the strength program. We work them hard. They listen. They understand that this is the answer. This is how you get better. Yeah. And next thing you know, we've got some guys like Lance who was able to. He got some height on him. Was able to become a better athlete through the weight room, through track, and was able to get strong. And now he's a guy that's colleges are taking a look at as a linebacker, and just really proud of him. And again, that's over the years. You look at our strength program, that's how we've been able to have some consistency every year. Is we've been able to get our kids strong and get them ready to play football. So hopefully. Hopefully that continues in the weight room and kids understand that. But again, there is 2 types of kids you have in the weight room. They have those that look at the weight room as punishment. Why do I have to do this? And then you have guys like Lance that look at it as opportunity. They have look at the weight room as opportunity. This is my opportunity to get better, to make myself into an athlete, make myself into a football player. It's not punishment, it's opportunity. So again, if you can get these kids who look at it as punishment to look at it as opportunity, it's going to help them without a doubt.
All right, Coach. We're going to take a short break, and we'll come back. Unless you had something else you wanted to hit, and we'll take a short break and come back and talk about Seminole.
Very good.
The Folkestone Pharmacy, your original hometown pharmacy for over 45 years, is a proud sponsor of Charlton Sportsnet broadcasts. Folkestone Pharmacy accepts insurance from most local employers, including the City of Folkestone, Charlton County, Babcock and Wilcox, AJM, Charlton Memorial Hospital, and many others. The Folkestone Pharmacy wishes the Indians best of luck this season. Okefenokee Rural Electric Membership Corporation offers more than dependable electrical energy at a competitive price. Quality service is provided by a friendly and professional staff trained to meet your every electrical power need, whether residential, commercial, or industrial. If you have any questions or need information, call us at 1-800-262-5131. Okefenokee REMC, owned by those we serve. A proud sponsor of this year's Indian football broadcast.
All right, welcome back to the Coach Mack Show. Coach, getting ready to head over to Seminole County to play the Seminole County Indians, way over almost Alabama.
Well, last week we, again, we say it's a 6-hour ride to Commerce. It's 6 hours, I think, if you don't stop.
Yeah.
But of course, we had to stop a couple times, and we broke it up. And I think we were on the bus about 13 hours last Friday and Saturday. This week it's going to be a little bit shorter. It's only 4 hours over there, I understand. Yeah, it's going to be a piece of cake for us. So we're going to break it up again. It's not as easy because there's not as many places to stop on 84 as there was going up 441 up to North Georgia. But I think we'll travel well. I know that the band's coming, cheerleaders are going to be there, and I know we'll probably have a lot of parents and other folks that'll be making the trip. And I'll tell you, we had a lot of people make the trip last week, and I'll tell you, like I told our kids, I really appreciate those people who are willing to make the trip, especially parents, because it's not easy, especially with the way gas prices. You got the holidays coming up. That's one thing that's tough is the playoffs seem to fall about holiday season.
Right,
so
in the middle of
Thanksgiving and turn around getting ready for Christmas. So it's a tough time of the year when your team continues to advance. It can get hard on you. But I appreciate the people. I really appreciate the people that made the trip to Commerce, and I know that there'll be some folks that are going to make the trip on over to Seminole County.
Oh yeah, I hope to make it look red and black out there.
That'd be great.
All right, Coach. The common opponent. I don't know too much about Seminole. We talked a little bit off camera. They have a couple of common opponents. They've beaten Turner and they've beaten Clinch County.
They have a lot of speed. They have Clinch County kind of speed. When they played Clinch County, I believe, was without their starting quarterback, which makes a lot of difference. But then we've also played Turner, and Turner's a good football team. I believe when we played Turner, we didn't score against them on offense. We had to score on defense, special teams, and kick the field goal. And then you have Seminole scoring 49 points on them. So Seminoles are really good football. They're the number one seed in the playoffs. I mean, they're the team that they're the team that people have put in position to win this thing. So that's what we're going against, and we know that's what we're going against. In preparing for a team like Seminole, we've got to have a great week. We've got to have intensity really each and every day. It's not one of those things where you just kind of wait around till Friday and get some work done during the week. We have got to have intensity this week. We've got to prepare as though this thing's going to come down to a single play. And we may go over there and it may come down to a single play. It may come down to us winning. It may come down to us losing at the end. It may come down to us losing in the first quarter. They may be that good. I don't know. But I'm not going to take any chances. I'm pushing our guys. I pushed them today hard. I'm going to push them the rest of this week hard, and there's no way I'm going to feel it's all for naught. I'm going to feel like that we're doing the right thing, trying to go over there, try to win this game. They're a great football team. They got speed. They got speed. They have toughness. They have two things you'd love to have in a high school football team right there. They execute the option very well. They have a quarterback that just does an incredible job. The guy's 5'2", but he's like a magician with the ball.
Oh, yeah.
He will ride. He will mesh with the fullback, and then last second pull it, and the last second pitch it out to the pitchback. So they do a great job there. Offensive line.
Is this a similar offense that we saw out of Clinch?
It not so much Clinch as is similar offense to what we saw last week. Okay. Only just if last week was. This is going to be full speed. I mean, this is at fast speed right here. This stuff happens fast against the offensive line is very sound. Offensively, they'll throw the football when they have you playing the option. Very tough situation to be in when you're playing the option and they get somebody behind you and just throw a duck up to them like you saw last week. They're able to do. It's going to be we got to play assignment football on defense. We've got to play physical. We've got to play fast. We've got to be fast enough to avoid down blocks and by the offensive line going to the second level onto the linebackers. It's going to be a real challenge. It's going to be tough. for our defense. Our defense has given up way too many yards in the run game this year. I think we gave up 200. I believe we gave up 200 last week. We've given up against a game before that against Irwin County. We gave up over 300 yards. So we've given up over 500 yards the last 2 weeks and last 2 games in rushing, just way too many. Offensively, they've got great defensive ends. They have some college prospects at ends. They just have a defense full of speed, which means on offense, we've got to do a great job of executing. We've got to be patient. We've got to understand not all plays are going to look great. We've got to, snap it again and try to, work on that first down is what we have to do. They've got a lot of speed in the secondary. Again, you're going to keep hearing me say the word speed. They got a lot of speed. They run well over there. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough game. It's a playoff game. But again, we're here. We're going to take our shots. We're going to take a chance. We're going to, while we have really nothing to lose. I mean, these things are set up to how you finish during the regular season, how people think. We were seeded 9. We beat an 8. So I guess that's an upset. I don't think it was, but it was an upset. And now we were a 9 traveling to a 1. Yeah. So it's expected to be tough. It's going to be tough. And again, they're predicted to win. I know that. But again, I'm going to predict that we're going to play hard. We're going to play hard, and we're going to play 48 minutes and leave it out on the field. And if this 2013 season ends there, it ends there. But hopefully it won't. We're going to prepare as though it won't.
I know I saw on some of those social sites, a lot of people were saying that they may be overrated because of that game they held last Friday night, but that's not the case.
That's not the case. We've watched the film, and I know Coach Ingram, Alan Ingram, the head football coach. I've known him for really since I've been head football coach. In 1990, we competed against him at Miller County, and I've known him for a long time, and I talked to him on the phone yesterday morning. I talked to him, and then today I talked to him again. He's having his wife's having some health problems, and I'm like I told him, we'll keep our thoughts and prayers for him and his wife. But again, he's a good football coach. He's a real good football coach, and he coaches those kids over there in that part of the state. You're going to have tough football teams. You think about who's over there. You think about the Miller counties we've ran into, Early County, and then you have Cairo, Thomasville Central. That part of the state produces some very, very physical, tough football teams.
There's a lot of competition.
Exactly. And Coach Ingram is one of the best coaches over there, one of the best coaches I've seen in high school football. And I know he'll have his kids ready. It's going to be a tough football game. And again, if there won't be any surprises on our part because we know what we're up against and we know what we have to do to compete with them. And I hope that we get over there and maybe catch a break and here or there, and we're able to stick around to the end because Seminole County is probably the best football team coming into this thing I've seen in single A.
All right. Moving on a little bit, Coach, not really to look ahead, but just as far as the playoffs go with the brackets. Region 2 still has 3 ball teams in it.
We really do. I believe there's another region that may have 3 also. I think the Marion, Dooley, Hawkinsville, I believe that's a region over there. I think those 3 are in it. We got 3 in it. So, as far as a region, we're pretty excited about making it to the people call the Elite 8 or the Final 8 or whatever. Right. 3 of our teams being there. So that's pretty good. I feel like after Friday, I think Irwin has a definite chance to. They got Johnson County. Johnson County's a real good football team. That's going to be a good game over in Ocilla. And then Clinch County, I don't know who they're hosting, but I think Clinch County will be have a good chance to advance on their. I think they got Dooley County. I believe it's Dooley who's going over there. So I think they have a great chance to advance there. I'm trying to explain to our kids, and I know it wasn't maybe in the politest of ways today on my behalf. But I'm trying to explain to them. I mean, these playoffs are tough. I mean, they're physical now. I mean, you get 48. They put 48 minutes on the clock. You may play some more in overtime, but really, they're going to put that ball in play, and it's physical. It's tough. We've been through these playoffs, like I said, for the last 24 years, and unless you have a mentally and physically tough football team, you don't stick around too long. So that's why I'm really stressing to our players is we've got to somehow, some way, be tougher than we were a week ago to advance past this one. And again, our opponent is I know they're going to be tough, and I know they're going to be ready. We've got to be ready also.
They'll be focused out there too, because I read an article. Their coach thought maybe their kids last Friday were a little overconfident, maybe being in the one seed and all. So they're going to be refocused.
And again, these are kids we're talking about, high school kids. And when you're a number 1 seed, when somebody puts that tag on you as number 1 seed, and you got a number 16 rolling in, a team that had to make the playoffs at the last moment, it's easy for your players to play down to their opponent. I think what happened in that game does nothing but hurt us. I'd almost rather them took the field and just completely dominated Wilkinson County, and instead by them having to struggle to win and so forth, I think that's going to make them even more sharp than what they would be otherwise. So. I don't think that's going to help us, them struggling last week. I think they're going to get their focus back, and they're going to probably start playing like the number 1 team. And again, it comes back to us. We've got to rise to the challenge.
All right. Game time is 7:30.
7:30.
There's no time change out there, right? It's still Eastern?
We're not far from Alabama. Already went on the internet looking for. It's going to be a tough ride home. I know that our road warriors, Russell Murray and Tommy Bryant and Jeff Highsmith, my bus drivers, I know they can make it back. That's 4 hours is nothing for them. But I know that a lot of people may be staying. I know there's some hotels, and Bainbridge is probably the closest town on the way back, Bainbridge. And then I think you have, after Bainbridge, you have Cairo, and then Thomasville. There's definitely hotels there. So I know my wife and my 2 daughters are probably going to stay. I'd rather them stay than try to make it back after that late at night. But it's, again, in the playoffs, we talked about 2005 was. We did this for 4 straight weeks going on these kind of trips. But, again, we do a great job traveling. We break it up, and I think we do it as well as anybody in our organization of traveling. So that's not going to be an excuse. Really, there is no excuse. There's no excuse to this point. Either we go out there and play and win, or they're going to play and they're going to beat us. And when whatever happens, and you move on from there. Either we're preparing for another game or we're starting to prepare for next year. Either way, it's pretty simple when it comes to the playoffs.
Well, let's hope. Well, I know not. Let's hope we will be preparing for the following.
Yeah, it'd be great to prepare for the semifinals. I mean, like I explained to the kids, our playoffs are shorter than the other classifications. We're sitting here in the quarterfinals after 1 win.
Right.
1 more win, you're in the semis. And then 1 more after that, you're going to Atlanta and playing for the whole thing. So it's on everybody in the playoffs' minds right now. Where everybody knows where we're sitting. And again, it's just we've got to go out, we've got to execute, we've got to play tough, we've got to play physical, and we got to understand that not everything's going to go our way.
Right.
And it goes back to the thing. It's how you react to the negative things happening on the field. Do you bounce back? Do you toughen up and bow your neck and fight back, or do you let it overwhelm you and so forth? So it's going to be a heck of a challenge for us. This week's going to be a tough challenge for us.
Well, hopefully he'll rise to the challenge.
I hope so.
We're going to post. Chris has directions to the game, and we're going to post the directions on the Facebook page and on the website. And we'll see you Friday night.
That'd be great. Thank you.
All right, I appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
All right.
Good luck.
Thank you.